All right, now we're going to go through our worksheet together for today. So I am on pages 58 and 59 of your language worksheet. So under the Remember A section, it says use proofreader's marks to mark which letters should be capitalized. Let's look at number 1. We have my brother Wesley has a new camera. Which words in this sentence should be capitalized? You guessed it, the first word of the sentence. So my Wesley is the name of my brother, so we want to capitalize him. He's a proper noun. Has a new camera. I think we're good. Just my and Wesley. Let's look at number 2. The Smiths will take a trip to Great Falls, Montana. Okay. What words in this sentence do you think should be capitalized? You guessed it, the first word of the sentence, which is the. Smiths is a proper noun. It's the name of these people, the Smiths, so that should be capitalized. The Smiths will take a trip to Great Falls, Montana. Doesn't this name a place? Whenever we're naming a person, place, or thing, it's a proper noun, so we do capitalize. Great Falls, and Montana is a state, Montana. So we capitalize the, Smiths, and Great Falls, Montana. Go ahead and complete numbers 3, 4, and 5 on your own. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time. Let's look at Remember B. It says write the plural form of each noun. So number 1, I have child, and it's asking you to write the plural form. Child means one, but what if I have more than one child? I would have children. Children is the plural form of child. Let's look at number 2, wife. If I'm talking about one person's wife, it's just singular. But what if I said the wives got together to bake cookies? We would change that to W-I with a V-E-S, wives. Remember the F-E changes to a V-E-S. Go ahead and try 3, 4, 5, and 6 on your own. You can pause the video if you need more time. Moving down to our Think See section, it says write a possessive phrase from each sentence. Okay, so number 1, we have Carter has a sister. And it's asking you to write a possessive phrase. Carter has a sister. Couldn't we write it like this? That's Carter's sister with an apostrophe S. Number 2, Dad won an award. They're asking for a possessive phrase in regards to this sentence. Dad won an award. That's Dad's award. Try 3, 4, 5, and 6 on your own. All right, moving down to the Write D section. Complete each sentence by writing a proper noun in each blank. Do you remember proper nouns are capitalized? So it says, my initials are, and a blank. Now, of course, you want to fill in your own initials, but my initials would be J, period, M, period, A, period. You can write your own initials in there. One of my favorite holidays is, I definitely love Christmas. And remember, I'm capitalizing holidays. I'm capitalizing all proper nouns. It is in the month of December. Remember, we do capitalize months. We capitalize those proper nouns. The name of the place I live is Huntington. Now, I'm capitalizing Huntington because it is the name of my town. If I'm allowed to choose a restaurant for my family to go to, I choose, ooh, this is a fun one. Let's see. I could choose the OIP. Now that stands for Original Italian Pizza, but I'm using the initials of the OIP. You could write it out, Original Italian Pizza Restaurant, and capitalize those, but I chose just to do the initials. Okay, I'm moving on to page 59 at this point. We also have another Remember A section on page 59. It says, match the nouns to make compound nouns. Draw a picture of one of the compound nouns. Okay, so we have jelly. On this side, we've got corn, foot, hay, and pine. On this side, we have cone, ball, cob, bean, and stack. So we're going to match the nouns to make compound nouns. So let's see, I've got jelly cone, jelly ball, jelly cob, jelly bean or jelly stack, jelly bean, corn cone, ball, cob, corn cob, foot cone, what's a foot cone? Foot ball, ooh, or foot stack, football, hay cone or hay stack, haystack, and lastly, pine cone. Okay, so now that you've matched the nouns to make compound nouns, go ahead and draw a picture in that box of one of these compound nouns. You can pick any one that you want. All right, now I'm on the Remember B section of page 59. It says, draw a line between the subject and the predicate parts of each sentence. So we're just going to do number one together, and then you will be on your own. So Chris and David built a fort in the backyard. All right, so it wants you to identify the subject and the predicate. Okay, Chris and David built a fort in the backyard. What's the sentence about, or who is the sentence about? What's the subject? Chris and David. So we actually want to draw a line between the subject. The subject is Chris and David, and the predicate is built a fort in the backyard, because Chris and David did what? Built a fort in the backyard. Chris and David are the subject. The predicate is, what did they do? They built a fort in the backyard. Okay, write C. I'm moving down to write C right now. You can feel free to pause the video and go back through 2, 3, 4, and 5 on your own under the Remember B section. So under the write C, it says, combine each pair of sentences into one sentence using a comma and the joining word in the box. So it looks like they already provided us with the joining word. So number 1 says, our classes collected food. We make food baskets. Okay, well those sentences are fine on their own. Our class collected food and we made food baskets. So that should be fine on its own, but we want to combine those. So we can combine those using a comma and a joining word. For example, our class collected food comma, and. Do you see our comma in the joining word? Our class collected food and we made food baskets. Period. What about number 2? Number 2 says, we could write notes, we could make cards. Well, those sentences are fine on their own, but sometimes we combine 2 short, choppy sentences in order to make it sound a little bit better, make it sound more flowy. So, how do you think we could combine these 2 sentences? We could write notes, comma, or do you see how they gave us the comma and the joining word already? Comma and joining word, or we could make cards. Now, doesn't that sound better than 2 choppy sentences? We could write notes, or we could make cards. That sounds a little bit better. There's a better flow than saying we could write notes, we could make cards. We combine 2 short, choppy sentences at times, sometimes more than 2, to make it flow better. All right, so go ahead and complete number 3 on your own.